Let's give it up for our next lightning tool.
Hello, I'm Manali. I'm a product designer. I work at Mintical and a product builder at heart. And today I'm going to talk about something which is invisible yet incredibly costly. And it's something that every designer, every product manager, and every engineer must have felt at least once. So do you imagine a time when you joined a new team? You're all excited, everything is new, you're all pumped up. You just get access to the Figma files, to Slack channels, and you dive in. And then as you click through flows, you understand one thing. With your fresh eyes, you spot obvious improvements. Maybe a layout feels off or a flow that feels unnecessarily wrong. And then you ask yourself an important question. Why was it designed this way? And but before you change anything, you do the responsible thing. You want to understand why is it actually the way it is. So you start looking around. Um, in whatever resources you have, it could be Slack archives, it could be your PRDs, your design files, and flows, and you even ping a teammate asking them if they have anything that can answer your question. And even after doing all this, you are still answerless. So, can you see what happened here? Even after, um, even after looking everywhere, like you looked everywhere you could possibly look, and you still don't have anything. Now, hold on that thought and imagine you're a product manager who is asked to revamp a flow. And the first natural step that you do is understand what is already there, and then you start looking again in the same resources that the designer used, and you start asking some important questions about uh, what was the scope, why was it cut, did we do any user research, how did it inform the product that we have today, did we consider any alternatives, and any other limitations that basically helped shape up the state of it today. And then you end up at the same place as the designer, confused. So, why is this happening? It's because our current tools just don't make it easy to log decisions. It's as if they are designed to make documentation harder. And the process doesn't help. Our process is messy, it's non-linear, it's iterative. And each piece of this process lives in different tools. And these tools don't talk to each other well enough to create a single cohesive narrative. And with the newer generation of tools, is it any different? The answer as of today is no. Because anyone who has used these tools before, you would have realized that these are very quick at generation, but they are very slow at understanding why something should be done. Now that more and more people are using it, so the iterations happen so fast. There are so many design decisions being made in shorter time. The why just can't keep up with the what. So why did we do this? So at the end of all these process, when one asks a question, why did we do it this way? The answer is not in one place. It's everywhere. It's in your Slack, it's in your design files, it's in your meeting recordings. And since it is not useful, it's as good as nowhere. So this is what I call decision debt. So like tech debt, it doesn't hurt right away, but you pay for it later. And the cost shows up everywhere. Like teams have to redo the work because they don't have context. New hires take more time to contribute meaningfully because they're still onboarding. And every role that we have feels this. So designers have to redo work because they don't have design rationale to look up to. PMs can't defend a scope properly to stakeholders. And engineers implement things with half-baked or partial understanding. And at the end of all this, what leaders see only delays, inconsistency, and missed opportunities. So the problem is we don't have a reliable way to capture and retrieve the why behind our choices. So how do we solve this? How do we make design rational, accessible, contextual, and effortless to maintain? So in my opinion, this is how it should feel like. It should blend into the tools that we already use. And it should be searchable by anyone who has a question. And Of course, whenever you talk to people or you pitch some idea, the first response that you get is, I don't want another tool, or I don't want another application for this. And I get it. We juggle with so many tools every day that if there's something new that comes up and adds friction, we are bound to ignore it. So this is how what it should not be. If it can't observe, prompt, and ask in context, it becomes a chore. And as I said earlier, design work is messy. So the tool must embrace that mess and still help it organize meaningfully. So what wins today are invisible tools, the ones that sit in the background and step in only when needed. Something like this, a context capture layer that is inside your design tool or whichever tool you're using. So let's quickly see how it will work in our go-to design tool, which is Figma. So a lot of things happen in Figma. We create a lot of options, we make trade-offs, but we don't capture the decisions. So this is where the trace plugin helps, bringing in ease and rubbing out any friction that is there that you feel in documenting your process. So it could be as easy as filling up a form and documenting everything when it is still fresh in your mind. And then you can have something like a history tab, wherein if someone wants to see how a feature evolved over time, to see that journey. And very similarly, it could work for any of the communication tools that we use. For example, Slack. So Slack has everything. It's a very rich resource because all our async collaboration lives in Slack. So it could be as simple as like, so Slackbot steps in as an assistant that has questions to all your answers. And then it could be as easy as if you want to know why did we choose one font over the other. And you could just simply ask that question and then it comes up with the response and then it gives you also like who's the POC and then other related files as well. So documenting and retrieving your rationale should be as easy as this one. And I remember, as I said earlier, that we don't want another tool, and that's true. But if at all someone at the end of all this wants to see the entire journey, this is where they come, where everything is waiting for them, organized. So why does this matter to us, product builders? Because it has some business impact. First of all, it reduces rework. It speeds up onboarding, so your new hires can contribute faster. It improves stakeholder trust because now every decision that you make has a defendable rationale. So it's about building smarter and faster, not only for the next sprint, but also for the next teammate, for the next project, and most importantly, for the next version of your product. So tools have been changing, tools will change in the future, and accordingly our process will evolve as well. But where Trace steps in is to protect that decisions from vanishing and converting them into a rich asset that is really useful to us. So that's the end of my time here today. If any of this resonated with you and if you want to have a chat, please scan this QR code and reach out.